All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the divisional round of the 2018 playoffs. Just came out the shadow run, but I'm excited for this weekend because we got some good matchups, man. I'm expecting some good football. Let's start off on the Saturday game. First game of the day, we got the Falcons taking on the Eagles in Philly. Now, my pick to win this game is going to be the Falcons. Why? I'm going to explain. First off, offensively, if the Falcons want to win, they cannot play offensively the way they did last week. You got to be able to finish drives. In the second half, if the Rams were able to play the way that they did the final two drives before they went into halftime, they would have easily won that game. Offensively, the Falcons did not do the job when it came to putting the game away. The Rams were still hanging around. Throughout the second half, they were still hanging around. Too many 3 and outs. Too many, we'll start at our 25-yard line. We're going to get down to the 40 of the opposing team, and all of a sudden our drives come to a halt. The Falcons got to be able to finish drives, man. Defensively, they played phenomenal last week. They played phenomenal last week. But what happened? Their offense could not do well enough to put the game away. They cannot come out here and play that way against this Eagles team. Why? Because first off, the Eagles defense is very opportunistic. They can take turnovers and turn it into points, whether it's going to be a pick six, whether it's going to be a fumble recovery for a touchdown. On special teams, who knows what they can do? They have a pretty good punt return. They're able to return it for a good amount of yardage. But offensively, the Eagles are at a fault without having Carson Wentz at quarterback. They do have Nick Foles, who's a capable backup, but I don't see this man putting up a whole lot of points through the air. It depends on which Nick Foles show up. He has been struggling over the last couple of weeks, so we got to see how it works out. If I was the Eagles, the way I want to beat the Falcons is first establish that run. Because if Jay Ajayi starts going, if LeGarrette Blount starts going, and they got the dreadlock powers flowing, now all of a sudden the Falcons are going to be, what's going on here? We got to stop the run. And once that happens, now Nick Foles is going to have the entire playbook open, so I can run the play action fake. I can throw the seam route. I can throw it deep to Aguilar. I can throw it deep to Jeffrey. Whatever is presented to him, he'll be able to take that. And especially Ertz, that's going to be the X factor on offense for the Eagles. If they can get Ertz going, I don't know what the hell's going to happen throughout this game, but I do have the Falcons winning. Defensively, if they want to win the game, they got to keep the same sort of defense they've been playing over the past couple of weeks. Go out there, shut down the run, and if you have an opportunity to take the ball away, take the ball away. Because the reason why they beat the Rams were those two fumbles on, what was it, in the first half when they had the special team fumble? I can't remember if the second one happened in the second half, whatever the case may have been. But take the ball away. If I'm the Falcons, take the ball out of the hands of the Eagles, you win the game. But honestly, if Nick Foles is able to bring his team down and score 3 touchdowns, and the defense gets a couple of takeaways, this could go either way. But I got the Falcons winning. The Saturday night game, we got the Patriots taking on the Titans. Everybody else is writing off the Titans talking about, man, the Titans are going to lose. I believe the Titans can win, but they won't. My pick is the Patriots. If the Titans want to win, follow the same blueprint it's always been to beat a Belichick team. Strong pass rush, dominate the time of possession, and establish the run game. You do those 3, you have an opportunity to beat Belichick's Patriots every single time. The problem is, it's extremely hard to execute that against Belichick because he does a very good job at being able to mask it. However, when we're talking about this Patriots team, there's a lot of people who's sipping the Kool-Aid because they don't want to really have an objective view about this Patriots team. Anybody who knows football and real Patriots fans who have watched the Patriots over the duration of this season, you all know this is the worst Patriots team since maybe 2010. Those 2009, 2010 teams, it was all on the hands of the offense. The defense was here and there, was a swing and a miss. This is one of those situations with this Patriots team. The defense, garbage. They can't cover, they can't stop or run, they can barely tackle. They're missing tackles left and right. Yes, they're pillaged by injuries, and that happens to all teams. However, you have times to game plan and try to say, all right, we know this guy is missing. Let's game plan for his absence, and still the backups and the reserves are coming in, and they're not doing that great of a job. They haven't faced real oiled machines offenses this year, and those offenses that they have faced, the offenses took advantage of their defense. On offense, the same thing. They don't have a running game. It's a hit and a miss. Sometimes Lewis will show up and have himself a good game. He had about a 3-game stretch where he was looking like, all right, he's a feature back, and then he took a step back. Then you have Gillislee, who gets a couple of carries in the beginning of the season. Let's give him the ball. Midway through the season, it became Burkhead. Then it was somewhere, I believe it was a 2-week span where it was James White. It's a running back by committee. You never know who's going to show up, but their run game is not consistent. The only thing consistent on their offense is Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. Those are the only two people who matter. Their offensive line has not been blocking as well as a Belichick offensive line has been blocking throughout the years. Tom Brady has been doing more movement in the pocket than I've ever seen him do before. So this is one of those situations where this Titans team, if they can get the pass rush going against Brady, now it's not going to look like it's going to be a one lopsided game. Also, if Tennessee wants to win, establish that run. Keep feeding Derrick Henry. If he's able to activate his dreadlock powers, the Patriots could be in a little bit of a, everybody's going to be looking around like Zubat hit them with Astonish because they don't know what the hell just happened. They're going to be like, what the hell? What's going on? This Titans team is not supposed to be doing this to us. We are the greatness that is the New England Patriots. They're going to be over. We're supposed to go to the Super Bowl. If they allow the pass rush to connect for the Titans, if you allow the run game to work for the Titans, and Marcus Mariota plays the same way he did in the second half, the Patriots can be in a world of trouble. But what I expect them to do is, if you're able to get that pressure on Mariota, if he steps up in the pocket, he's going to be in trouble because he can't really step up the way other quarterbacks can. He has to either roll out to his left or his right to go make some sort of plays. Also, the first half of the Titans game against the Chiefs, there were too many dropped balls. If the Titans come out and play like that, they're going to lose, especially with the bad throws, because you did see an interception from Marcus Peters. You've seen dropped interceptions from Mariota throwing the ball to the Chiefs as well. That's not going to happen against a Patriots defense. Now, they may not be those great defenders, but they at least they capitalize on the ones you throw to them. They will pick the ball off. All right? So if the Titans want to win, establish that run, dominate the time of possession, and have long drives like they did in the second half against the Chiefs. For the Patriots, go out there, play Patriot football. When it comes to offense, Kevin Byard came out and said he wants to make Tom Brady look like Blake Bortles. What I see happening is probably having a one-on-one Gronkowski versus Byard a couple of times in the first half, and then what happens? Oh, we're gonna throw that. Let's throw that seam route. Let's send him outside. He's gonna run that spider 2 wide banana, as John Gruden would say. Run that against him, and so he runs. Gronk would run the corner in the direction of Byard, having him have to cover Gronk one-on-one. It's gonna happen a couple of times. But if the Patriots want to win, play Patriot football. Work the middle of the field because the Titans cannot really cover those short passes that are there. You saw what Travis Kelce was doing. So you know it's going to be heavy Gronk in this game. So the Patriots are going to play their game. If they can establish the run, this game is over. It's not even going to be close. If Dion Lewis, James White, if Burkhead is back, or Gillislee, if he's back, if they're getting carries and they're able to run the ball, this game is over. Because if Belichick and Brady get the entire playbook and they're able to utilize any play they want, the game is over. The Titans are going to lose. But if the Titans can run the ball, dominate time of possession, and hit Brady, this game is going to be much closer. It may come down to a Ryan Suckup field goal. I'm telling you right now, if the Titans were to pull up the upset, I would not be surprised. But I don't see them winning. On Sunday, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I made my video a little bit earlier explaining about why I believe the Steelers will win and what they have to do to win. Allow me to regurgitate, reverberate, and reiterate my sentiments. If the Jaguars, or I should say, if the Steelers want to win, first, run the ball. If you got Le'Veon Bell able to run the ball, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is going to be in trouble. Because if Big Ben is able to go to no huddle and the run game is working, Jacksonville won't be able to stop him. The reason why they lost in week 5 was due to the ineptitude of Big Ben Roethlisberger and Todd Haley calling a bunch of pass plays against the #1 pass defense in the league. There's no reason why you go in there, play against the best pass defense, and you throw 55 times, when at the same time of them being the best pass defense, they were the worst rush defense. Run the ball. Why is Le'Veon only getting 15 touches? Give the ball to Le'Veon Bell. Defensively, force Blake Bortles to beat you. Why did they lose in week 5? Leonard Fournette, 28 carries, 191 yards, 2 touchdowns. You can't allow the man to run the ball. Shut down the run. That's exactly what Buffalo did last week. And what happened? You needed Blake Bortles running on the ground in order to get first downs, in order for the Jacksonville Jaguars to even win the game, or even go down the field to get that final touchdown before halftime, or was it in the third quarter? Whenever the hell he scored the touchdown. So what it comes down to is shut down the run, force Blake Bortles to beat you. Because honestly, I don't think any team in the league is sitting there saying, you know what, Blake Bortles slinging that ball, I'm a little bit worried. If Blake Bortles goes out there and has an exceptional game, tell you the truth, that's what the hell you wanted. If you're a defense and you're saying, all right, we want Blake Bortles to beat us, and Blake Bortles goes out in there and beats you, hey man, give credit where it's due. He got it done. Now for the Jacksonville Jaguars, if they want to win, first they got to take the ball away. That is the only reason why they won in week 5. Their defense was able to turn turnovers into points. All right, those 5 interceptions, 2 were returned for pick sixes. Let's keep that in mind. 2 of them were returned for pick sixes. The final score was 30-9. Let's just take away that 90-yard touchdown in garbage time, and let's just say those 2 picks didn't really turn into 2 pick sixes and they caught the ball and went straight to the floor. You're taking away 21 points. That's going to have the score. Both of this is going to be tied up at 9-9. We got to keep that in mind moving forward. The defense has to be able to put points on the board. Allow your defense to be your offense if you're Jacksonville. And on offense, run the ball. If they're able to get the run game going, this game, it's not going to be a blowout, but it may be close. They're going to have the advantage. They can mess around. Actually, it can be a blowout. If Jacksonville is able to turn points into turnovers into points, and they're able to run the ball effectively against the Pittsburgh Steelers, they can go into Heinz Field and spill ketchup all over the Pittsburgh Steelers defense because they're going to be blowing them the hell out. So if Jacksonville wants to wants to win, run the ball, turn turnovers into points. That's how you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, you want to win, run the damn ball, and defensively force Blake Bortles to beat you. And the ones that he throws to you got to be able to catch him. Like I said in my old video, when he threw the ball to Tre'Davious White at the end, right before halftime against the Bills, he had an opportunity to not only catch the pick, but in the angle where he was at, he catches that pick and he takes off going. If he breaks that tackle from the receiver, that's a pick six. You got to be able to capitalize on the ones that they throw to you. In the game against the Patriots, I believe it was Sean Davis, the ball, Tom Brady threw it right there. Had he caught the pick right there, the Patriots aren't even, they're not winning that game. The Steelers have an opportunity to run out the clock. The game's over. You got to capitalize on the ones that they throw to you. Catch the interception. But my pick is going to be the Steelers to go because obviously biased reasons, and personally I believe they're going to win this game. Because if we talk about history, Jacksonville beat them early in the season, so that means they could beat them again. In 2007, they beat Jacksonville came to Heinz Field and beat the Steelers twice. Well, yeah, remember last year, Miami beat Pittsburgh in, what was it, week 4, week 5? Jay Ajayi ran for 200 yards. What happened in the wild card weekend? Yeah, they lost. So history, it's good sometimes, it's bad sometimes, but nobody really knows. It's any given Sunday. Any team can win. Moving on to the final game of wild card weekend. The final game of divisional round, which my pick of the game of the week is the Saints taking on the Vikings. A lot of people are saying, man, I'm really sipping the Kool-Aid of the Vikings. They're going to be the first team to host, a game during the Super Bowl as the home team. Personally, I believe the Vikings can win, but they won't. There's something about this Saints team. They're my pick to win the NFC. All right, but they can't play the way they played last week on offense. Defensively, they did a very good job stopping the Panthers of putting points on the board when they traveled down the field, because the Panthers had about 4 different times where they got into the red zone and they couldn't finish in the end zone, had to settle for Graham Gano field goals. If I'm the Saints, I don't like the fact that I keep giving up all this yardage. And if we look at the red zone, the Vikings are very good in the red zone. Whether it's handing the ball off to Latavius Murray and him pounding it into the end zone, or throwing the ball to Kyle Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, red zone reindeer at that, he's able to catch those touchdowns down there. He's able to get it to Thielen or maybe Diggs. So if I'm the Saints, I don't want to allow a bulk of offense given to the Vikings. You can't have a situation like that. But if the Vikings want to win, if they can establish the run game against the Saints, the game is over. The game is over. Because if Case Keenum is able to get that play action fake and the Saints bite on it, Stephon Diggs and Thielen, they're going to eat that defense alive. They're going to eat the defense alive. So if I'm the Vikings, I want to establish the run. Because if it becomes the Case Keenum show, it's going to look a whole lot like when Atlanta played against Los Angeles in Wild Card Weekend. It's going to turn into the Case Keenum show. He's going to be acting like Jared Goff, throwing 45 times, and that's not the Vikings game. All right? Defensively, they got to take the ball away and turn it into points like they've been doing this season. Also, Everson Griffin needs to have himself a big-time game. And if it's not him, it got to be somebody else on the defensive line. They need 5 sacks if they want to beat this Saints team, because there was an injury on the Saints offensive line. So I know that guy's not coming back yet to stabilize the leg. So I don't know what the deal is with him. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be playing. So if they want to take advantage, they got to be able to sack Drew Brees. And they cannot allow the run game of Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara to get going. Because if they're able to run the ball effectively, the game's over. This is playoff football. If your team can run the ball effectively, you're going to lose the game. That's just how it works. Well, if you allow a team to run the ball effectively, if your run game works for you, then you're probably going to win. But if the Saints want to win, run the ball, and then Drew Brees will be able to pass. Because you saw what happened last week. Carolina took the run away. They took the run away, so they did a very good thing taking the run away, but it was their inability to finish drives is what cost them the game. Had Cam Newton been able to punch it into the end zone about 4 out of the 5 times they got into the red zone, they win that game. It's not even close. They beat the Saints by 20, but that's not what happened. They shut down the run, but offensively they didn't take care of business. If the Saints want, or I should say, if the Saints want to win offensively, run the ball, finish in the end zone. You can't play the second half of football the way you did last week, where you had to depend on the big play. Because look at the touchdown to Ted Ginn, look at the deep pass to Pierre Thomas, to Mike Thomas. Those two plays are the only big offensive plays that they had. Also, you had the pass to Hill and the pass to Mike Thomas before halftime. But outside of that, it was only big-time plays that was really working for the Saints. Offensively, Carolina did a good job stopping their defense. So the Saints have to establish that run and get that going so it doesn't have to become the Drew Brees show. Because as great as Drew Brees is throwing the ball left and right, if they become one-sided, that pass rush from the Vikings is going to get to them. And if I'm the Vikings, if I want to win, I got to try to get that run game going. If Jerick McKinnon or Latavius Murray is able to run that ball effectively, the Vikings will be able to pull off the W. Also, when it comes to passing the ball, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, those two guys, they're dogs, man. They can ball. They can ball. But Lattimore on defense, he could take one of them out of the game. With a little bit of safety help, of course, or maybe even one-on-one. He can take one of them out of the game, so you got to utilize the other receiver. If Lattimore is following around Diggs, Thielen needs to have a great game. And his chemistry, Thielen's chemistry with Case Keenum is really good this season. It's really good. So I expect those two to really connect. But the way to get it done is target the corner opposite Lattimore because they cannot cover. They're not exceptional. So be one of those. It got to be one of those Peyton Manning, Tom Brady sort of situations where you look at who's the weak link on the defense. We're going to go after them. Because if we're going to say, all right, we're going to run this offense and drop back, I truly believe, and that Vikings offensive line can't really block as well for Case Keenum. So playing against this defense as well, too, Cameron Jordan and that other guy who's on the Saints defensive line, whether he's blitzing or not. Oh, well, you don't blitz on the defensive line. You always rush. So if they're able to get penetration against this Vikings offensive line, it may sway in the hands of the Saints. But I do see the Saints winning. I see the Saints winning. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think maybe about 21, 20, 23, 20, something in that range. It's going to be like a 3-point game, the difference. But those are my picks. All right, so I got the Steelers winning. I got the Saints winning. I got the Patriots winning. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, though. But I got the Patriots winning, and I also have the Falcons winning. Those are my 4 picks. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Who you think is going to win this Saturday, this Sunday, and who do you see in the NFC and the AFC Championship? Also, state your claim. What's your team? Let us know what you think, or what you think are the keys to each team's victory. All right? Now, I'm going back to the Shadow Realm, and I can't wait to see another week of great football.